Hey guys, what's up? It's Finch here, and we are back with yet another Scarlet and Violet overused discussion video. I'm here to announce that 2 more Pokemon have been banned. If you guys haven't heard already, Palafin and Iron Bundle are banned from Scarlet and Violet overused effective immediately via council vote. Palafin, the former, received a unanimous vote, much like Fluttermane and Houndstone, to be removed from the metagame, while Iron Bundle only received 7 votes out of 9. That is still a clear supermajority. In fact, it's over 70% in favor of the ban, but it was a little more closely contested than Palafin. We're going to use this video to discuss both Pokemon, their effectiveness in the metagame, why they were removed, and what might be to come in the aftermath of their brief stints in the Scarlet and Violet overused metagame. Before you guys do watch this video and listen to the proceedings, I do want to say thank you so much for all the support. We recently hit 7,000 subscribers, and I've really been going kind of semi-viral on Twitter lately. It's been awesome to interact with all of you guys and just ingrain myself in the community as much as possible, and I'm looking forward to continuing to do so throughout the generation. It's really important to me that as a tier leader, I have an open channel of communication and a certain degree of transparency that I bring to my player base. The way I see it is, if you guys are invested in the product that we're putting out, then it's really important that we can be communicative, transparent, and also reflective of what we do, in that we listen to you guys and hopefully have it improve our process through community feedback. So this has been a really great start to the generation, in that we've all been listening to each other and discussing on Smogon forums. We already have dozens of pages worth of discussion. I've been interacting with people, hundreds of posts, and same with Twitter. A lot of people are engaging with me, even YouTube comments, and it's just really awesome. So I'm just saying, I'm reading, I'm hearing, I'm not always responding to every single last one, but as many as I can. It's kind of been a full life project the last couple of days, and I'm looking forward to continuing ingraining myself within this culture and being there for you guys, much like you are there for me in my metagame. Anyway, without further ado, let's discuss the 2 Pokemon that were banned. The first one is the more clear-cut of the 2, in Palafin. As Ozma, OU Councilman and OU Forum Leader, writes, when looking at Palafin, it's easy to be skeptical about its prowess because of the low power, low presence, mediocre, even appearance of the initial form. However, it really does start as 0 and evolve into a hero upon switching out and back in again. It is true that comes with a little bit of a barrier, a little bit of an opportunity cost, but truth be told, that seldom is a problem, considering a lot of people lead with Palafin, and it's easy to get in on a resist, seeing as water does resist things like fire, opposing water types, which are pretty common in the metagame. On top of this, Palafin Hero, upon entering, which again, there is a small barrier, but it's very doable, has a 650 base stat total with 160 attack. This alone is strong enough to muscle it into OU if it has any decent semblance of a move pool and defensive stat spread, and of course that is the case here. Jet Punch is the signature move that Palafin gets. It's a 60 base power stab move, but it also gets priority. Couple that with the potential Terra boost, makes it adaptability boosted essentially. That's basically making it an 120 base power 120 base power priority move. That of course factors in the stab and the Terra modifier. It's roughly 120, and that is ridiculous. With a bulk up booster too, that can really demolish the metagame off 160 attack. Even faster Pokemon that resist it, like the Dragapult of the world, can't withstand a consistent assault of Jet Punches. Not to mention other Pokemon that are faster, the Great Tusks, the Chi-Yus of the world. Iron Valiant, they can barely even withstand the assault that's coming their way as well. Now, I will say that there are more defensive answers that did exist initially. However, as Palafin evolves, it definitely became harder and harder and harder to do that. Excuse me guys, sorry, I'm just a tad under the weather right now. It's been a crazy couple of days. For those of you that aren't American, I've been celebrating Thanksgiving with my family, my girlfriend's family, my coworkers and all that, and it's just been a very active couple of days. Been a little low on sleep and just a little under the weather right now, so if my voice is a tad nasally or I've got a sneeze or cough in the video, my apologies. I'm just doing my best to get this content out for you guys. I'm starting to feel much better today as I woke up. It's a Saturday morning, so that is an awesome start, just trending back in the right direction. Anyway, my apologies. So, getting back into it, Palafin has actually been a really great abuser of terrestrialization and also a bulk up set. Initially, it ran the Choice Banded set, and when it ran the Choice Banded set, we saw more and more people just using bulky Pokemon like Toxapex or Slowbro or Amoonguss just to pivot on into it, and from there, it was contained. Unfortunately, though, that set, was, while very strong, and had coverage like Ice Punch for grasses and Dragapult, and Dragonite. It didn't really have the flash, the pizzazz, to necessarily break the metagame. It was more prediction dependent. It was more limited in what it could do. It didn't have the longevity, and overall, it didn't have the breaking power for walls, especially since it didn't have U-turn for things like Slowbro, but rather it relied on flip turn, and it's very, very susceptible to helmet damage. And while Wave Crash is super strong, again, it can be resisted, it can be minimized, it can be even immunized. So that was tough there. Enter Taunt plus Bulk Up. Around last weekend, around 4 or 5 days ago, maybe even 5-6 days ago, Taunt plus Bulk Up Palafin became very, very much the main set. People started using it, realized that with terrestrialization, it was super hard to kill, and it was super hard to prevent from setting up, and so on. It became a potent presence in the metagame, because it's not a very fragile Pokemon either. Keep that in mind. Palafin, has decent bulk. That set made it so you weren't susceptible to choice locking. With Terra Steel, you could suddenly taunt Amoonguss out of Sporing you, and then it can't damage you with Giga Drain or Sludge Bomb. Made Amoonguss a liability. It also gave you an opportunity to set up in front of other grass types, and you suddenly resist things that are common, like Dragon and Ice Freeze Dry as well, which can give you like a free turn against Bundle. If they try and Freeze Dry you as your Water type, then they really should Hydro Pump you. And Drain Punch can do a decent chunk to them as well. If you're evolved, just dynamics like that. It gives you a free turn. Also, though, Terrestrialization Water makes Jet Punch so much stronger. Suddenly, as I was saying before, you basically have a 120 base power priority move, which is unheard of, is virtually unseen. We've seen Technician boost things like Bullet Punch up to 60 base power, plus Stab makes it 90 base power, but this is a move that's already 60 base power, that has no contingencies like Sucker Punch or First Impression, that on top of that also gets a basically adaptability boost while you still have the 0 to hero, which gives you 160 base power. You see all these modifiers that make Palafin just so otherworldly strong. Once the bulk up set became running, it was clear that there was maybe only one or two things like for example, Psychic on Slowbro, Future Sight Slowbro, was really the only potential check counter to it. It was just so out of this metagame, out of this world, and it really dwarfed counterplay. We started seeing more Unaware. Amoonguss really banked on it being Water Terra, not Steel Terra, things like that. And obviously, there is certain opportunity cost in using your Terra slot, but at the same time, it didn't always need to do that just to be as strong as it was. We saw it coupled with teammates that abused Amoonguss, for example, and those were really potent offensive teams as well. And all in all, it became a little too much for the metagame. We definitely didn't have a sufficient pool of counterplay. For example, with Taunt, you could potentially even 1v1 things like Dondozo, which is the bulkiest physical water type, bulkiest water type in the physical and in the metagame, more or less, just because Taunt, it kind of dwarfs the damage you take. Even Toxapex was shut down by Taunt Sense due to the lack of Scald as well, and it out-damaged it after a couple bulk ups and just things like that. So, all in all, it was really awesome. We also saw other sets again banned initially. Scarf was decent. Bulk up 3 attacks with Ice Punch was okay. I wasn't as strong on those sets just because the Taunt bulk up set was clearly what broke it, and the other sets initially, they were more manageable. So, I would say that Palafin, without a doubt, was broken. If you want to scroll down here, we'll see it was unanimously banned. I voted ban on it. Just go through my votes personally. I also voted ban on Iron Bundle, which also got banned. And then one last thing I voted ban on was Cyclizar, just because I view Sedtail as a little crazy. Not gonna lie, I still think it's an unhealthy, maybe even uncompetitive catalyst in the metagame, but look at that in another video. It did not quite receive the sports ban, and that's totally fine. Then I didn't vote ban on Chien-Pao, Roaring Moon, Goldango, or Annihilate. Goldango and Lionlip, I just want to see more time on. I might eventually vote ban on the Ape, but I'm not quite there yet, and Goldango is on my radar personally, but I'm not there either. We did have 3 people vote ban on the Ape, 5 people vote ban on Cyclizar, but nothing on Chien-Pao, Roaring Moon, or Goldango, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Let's shift gears to Iron Bundle, though. As you see, 7 people voted ban on it, so just enough support, just over 70%, just over the 2/3 threshold needed to end up getting banned from the metagame. So it was a night after Thanksgiving, and all was well. Then Robot Santa came and brought OU Hell. And yeah, that about sums it up, that little rhyme from Ozma there. Delibird's future form has been banned. There's really no other way around it. It's just that potent, that strong. Robot Santa Claus is a freak. It has a combination of Hydro Pump and Freeze Dry that is virtually uncheckable. It gives more or less perfect coverage, so you've really got to rely on the most specially durable Pokemon in metagame. Things like Blissey, for instance. Why? Iron Bundle is fast. It's quicker than the entire unboosted metagame besides Dragapult, for example. and Iron Bundle is also strong. I believe it's got 124 or 126 base special attack. Off the top of my head, it's ridiculously strong. You also can't really rely on priority. It's got decent physical bulk. It could tear out water, which makes it so that it is able to neutralize Mach Punch and resist Bullet Punch from Breloom and Scizor respectively. And with that decent physical bulk, it also check things like Extreme Speed Dragonite, especially if it's not Terra Normal, which can potentially take it out from a decent amount of HP. Terra Normal Dragonite, awesome Pokemon, by the way. Taunt is also able to just like kind of stop Blissey from recovering. So if you bait Blissey 2 or 3 times, you hit your Hydro Pump, so you could actually chip it down even. Truth be told, my favorite set on Bundle also is Heavy Duty Boost, so it had longevity. People did use the Energy Booster for the Speed Boost. Personally, I found that a little excessive and unnecessary. It did help, really clean out the offensive matchup. But truth be told, you're fast enough already to revenge kill 4 or 5 of those Pokemon as is. It felt unnecessary, and Heavy Duty Boots for rocks give you longevity. Really, what came down to Iron Bundle was if it hits Hydro Pump, it's getting kills. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I think that's not a healthy dynamic. I think the actual true defensive counterplay to it is minimal. The offensive counterplay with its speed is, while existent, very minimal as well. And I just found it very hard to sustain. Yeah, it can be played around with dodging Hydro Pump, or having a Blissey and making plays right, or foddering Pokemon and then trying to get a revenge kill. I get it, but that isn't a healthy dynamic. That's a trade for trade metagame. That's a 9-turn game where the game is decided by Hydro Pump accuracy and foddering sequences. That's not skillful play. That's not a competitive game. That's just slots. That's just crapshoot, And I don't think anyone wanted that. I know it's a new toy. I know it's banning a variant of Delibird, and that's like, oh damn, I want to play with my new toys. I want to play with my Iron Bundle on Christmas. I really do understand, get it, truthfully, but end of the day, we do have a competitive metagame, and this is going to allow us to unlock larger discussion. This is going to make it so that stall teams that rely on Blissey for Iron Bundle and Slowbro or Amoonguss, for example, for Palafin, suddenly aren't frequented anymore, just because these Pokemon that really restrict the pool of counters to solely defensive Pokemon aren't there anymore. You could use more offense freely without having to worry about how the hell am I going to switch into Bundle or Palafin, because these Pokemon can really, particularly in Palafin's case, just sweep the shit out of you. Or Iron Bundle can get a kill every time it comes in if it hits its Hydro Pump, and that's no fun. So yeah, we entered a metagame state that was definitely more hectic, more volatile, and we're exiting it perhaps with a little bit more calmness so we can focus on a larger discussion that looms ahead in terrestrialization. And that's what my next video is likely going to be on, Terra. I just want to get this video out on Iron Bundle and Palafin. In the meantime, you see the council vote and my personal reasoning on both. I hope you guys understand. If you have any comments, feel free to let me know on Smogon or Twitter or in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much. Hope everyone who celebrated had a happy Thanksgiving, and if you didn't, I hope you had an awesome week in regards to that. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. All right, bye guys. Have a great day.